It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
And welcome back. So last we left off, half of Bell's Hells, with their new travel companions from Uthadurn, Frida and Deanna, have helped save some of the populace of Uthadurn in the midst of the post-Applebee Soul Cycle dangers. And in doing so, gained some favor from the diarchy of Uthadurn, and in doing so also discovered a little bit about the history of Ludinus Da'leth, the antagonistic figure of the minute, hour, millennium.
Motherfucker.
Who seemingly, for a while, hailed from the elven town of Molaesmyr that was destroyed 3 centuries before, and is not too far off from the city of Uthadurn, to the southwest in the middle of the now corrupted Savalier Wood that itself was corrupted by the incident that destroyed the city of Molaesmyr. You eventually came to the outskirts of the ruins of Molaesmyr. Here in this heavily altered, overgrown, and deeply dangerous haunted locale, you managed to notice a few of the strange, changed beasts that wander the surrounding region, and began to stealth your way carefully between the somewhat damaged and frozen in time, unoccupied, you hope, structures across the cityscape. So, as you all begin to move deeper and deeper through the cities, what is it you're looking for, and what are you doing?
What are we looking at?
We're looking for the tower.
The walkways through the city ruins are not open roads. The ground where you can see these once beautiful Elvis streets of smoothed stone and long, almost railroad tie-like marble and stone dividers between chunks of the roadway are cracked and broken at odd angles. You can see undergrowth that is pushed through, and in fact, much of this is completely overgrown. You see one massive tower that rises all above the rest. Even at this distance, this is the one that caught your eye when you were along the river. As you begin to go deeper in, that many of these cracks, many of these fissures seem to be emanating from that direction. You do also notice many bodies. Many old, long-rotted skeletal bodies, parts of them that are still kind of entangled with some of the heavy roots, some that are like heavily lifted up and have been grown through. You can see all the buildings and the shops, signs in Elvish. There are these little glimpses of the beauty of this townscape that you can imagine for a moment, the bustle and the calm and the overall wonder that this once probably had, at least from the glimpses you see.
These spores that are just all in the air, are they mostly towards the ground or above?
It's kind of all over.
It's just like everywhere?
Above the fog line.
Yeah.
So it's either horrifying mist or terrible spores.
So if we were to try to fly out,
The air's
we
bad.
would be in, like...
Well, just cover your mouth.
Okay.
Or maybe you should ask Changebringer, because maybe Changebringer
can.
can give you like a wind.
I can.
Yeah, a little toot of destiny.
I'll cast. Well, I'll just flip a coin.
Flip a coin, flip a coin.
No, you know what? I'm going to do it the right way. She's with me now. I'll cast divination. Changebringer, if you can hear me, please guide us. I'm asking you.
Ass.
Guide our ass. Asses.
Our asses.
Which is the best way to go to get to the tower without dying? So this has to be a yes or no question or anything? Or?
Yes. No, it's a truthful reply. Short phrase, cryptic rhyme.
Oh, okay.
I can be. Okay, so. You hear the wind pick up. You watch as some of the fog and mist kind of blows clear. And one of the major paths, one of the main roads that snakes to the right and along the northern edge that curves around the outer base of the central tower, for a moment, kind of blows clear and open before the fog wafts back in and closes.
See that? Did you see that? A god just told us which way to go. Just gave us directions.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
That's the first time I've ever seen a god do anything for real.
You trek on for about 7-8 minutes, kind of watching, using that central main tower as your guiding point. There also gets colder. The fog gets thicker. And you begin to see more and more of these ghostly figures, these echoed spirits of the fallen citizens of Molaesmyr. They become more and more dense the further to the center you go, along with these fissures in the ground, where the escaping miasma blends with the fog and leaves these tendrils of black like smoke that drift up into the air.
Are we close to the tower, like within striking distance of it? Or
You're probably about 100 or so, 150 feet from it.
okay. I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians around us. I conjure something that brings us security and strength. They all look like Frida.
Little teeny Fritas?
Little tiny Fridas.
Teeny tiny Fridas.
Like flying like Superman around us.
Little wee Fridas. I don't know how to respond. Okay, welcome to
Just
Critical
one
Role.
doing the backstroke.
With the arrival of this spiritual energy to protect you, you also notice that all of the walking ghosts, all of these haunted echoes that still wander these streets, all at once stop. You kind of turn around and look at the rest of your friends and glance back, and they're closer.
Oh, no, don't do the Kirby the ghost.
How can we do it? Everybody look out at the direction.
Oh, God, he got closer.
Channel divinity. Turn undead.
As you all continue to spin and look around, every time your eyes leave one of the spirits and returns, they're about 5 feet closer until they're just slowly closing on you. No! Until there's about 15 or so within 10 feet of you, and as they get closer, you can see the vacant sockets. You can see the stretched, elongated jaws that hang open. You can see the features, the fine elven bone structure that has been exaggerated into this horrible, gaunt, terrifying, long-anchored visage of despair and hunger. And describe to me how you channel divinity.
Oh, let's go. J.J. Abrams just lens flare. I think she curls in over his shoulders and like a little bit of light catches, and it's just like a burst of light out in 30 feet every direction.
This blast of bright, sun-like energy just suddenly rockets off in all directions from the center of Deanna outward, and you watch as these spirits, who are not destroyed, all of a sudden get hit by it, and you watch as their spectral, kind of glowing blue exterior suddenly bursts into this bright, burning golden light, and they all scatter outward and vanish. All but 5 of them. And I'd like us to roll initiative.
This is a banger.
Look at those thorns. Those are real thorns. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Matthew Mercer, let's go.
All right, so that is the spectral cloud of spinning spiritual Fridas that are all Superman flying around you. Top of this, FCG, you are up first.
I'll conjure a spiritual weapon.
Okay. What spiritual weapon are you conjuring?
To match the tiny Fridas, I will conjure a tiny fresh cut grass, also flying around, sort of flying around with Frida in sort of like a Superman-y, two Superman.
Superman and Lois.
So, your miniature FCG spins and drives itself into the center of this ghostly figure. As you see it now, as they're clarifying, they are normally dressed citizens of this space as they kind of like come towards you. They're vacant, open sockets. They kind of reach in your direction, their limbs extending and stretching until this FCG hits it. And as it does, this burst of radiant energy strikes out from the center of where it impacts. And as it kind of almost seems sucked inward for a moment, it reemerges. And as it does, into this terrifying ghostly visage. All right, so all three of them entering for the first time in their turn. They all make wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yes, 15.
So that one, that is going to be a failure, and a failure. All three of them fails. Go ahead and roll 3d8 damage.
Nice. 5, 9, 17.
Nice. 17 points of damage to all of them. Great. So they both they enter the area and then are trying to push through this whirlwind of divine energy, kind of taking the form of tiny Fridas, whipping around the group. They get tattered a bit and push through and still come in to try and assault the central group here. Chetney, go ahead and make a charisma saving throw for me, please.
Oh, okay. Wait, I got, things that help me out. No, it's just 0. Okay. Straight up! Charisma saving throw. Bam!
Straight up now.
2!
Oh, God.
Okay.
Baby.
Oh, no.
The creature lurches forward, and you can see this like young teenage girl with these dark kind of circles where the eyes would be, kind of go and screech as she reaches forward, and you turn around to try and strike as she pours into your mouth.
Oh, no.
And suddenly you see Chetney kind of shake for a second as his eyes go poof, a glowing bright blue.
Oh, no.
You are currently possessed.
No!
By a young teenage girl? Has he turned into an influencer?
Oh my god. It's been 300 yards.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Yes.
You
She keeps calling everyone
you feel
queen.
yourself recede within yourself, and you can sense your surroundings, but you have lost control of your body.
Something in place, bitch. Let's go.
Kinda, yeah.
Get out.
In this instance, you feel your body spin around, and I need you to go ahead and make 2 strikes.
Why is
With your-
your teenage girl
Listen,
like,
I don't know.
I need you to go. Yeah, go ahead and take your scythe and make 2 attacks on FCG for me.
Oh, no, she's okay.
17 points of damage to your total.
17.
All right.
Wow.
And you just kind
It's giving thunder.
I don't know what that means.
So as you're focused outward, like hoping the guardians are holding form, the ghosts kind of surrounding, suddenly you take 1 strike from the side, you turn around at Chetney and you see the eyes glowing with this bright kind of blue spiritual energy that's just kind of snaking out of the top of his
Chetney,
eye.
what's gotten into you? Go on, say something.
Her name's Rebecca. And she loves Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you keep saying
I don't know.
yes?
I was gonna say facts. True. I don't know. I don't know. Let go.
Just say OMG.
Well, let me get 1 hit on. No, is the guy in front of me?
There is 1 person immediately to your right.
No. Then I'm gonna run. No, I'm making a beeline for Chet. I'm
Okay.
gonna go to Chetney.
Kind of heading up to the edge there, and Chetney is currently now scythe out, focused on where FCG ran away, and is like pulling the scythe back and about to rush after.
Sweet. And I want to grab Chet's face, and like in like a dual voice, I think Deanna is like yelling the like spell component for Greater Restoration, while like the Dawn Father yells at the like the ghost inside that says, "Get out!" And we'll cast a Greater Restoration.
Greater restoration.
Gag me with a spoon.
Are you looking up teen slang?
Teen slang dictionary.
Do you
for
know
parents.
this? I will curb stomp you, little girl. Get out of my man's.
With a C.
Bitch.
As you gather that handful of diamond dust
AF's
and kind of punch forward with it, kind of releasing it in the direction of Chetney as it suddenly
say
brightens like an ignited flare. And as it hits and strikes Chetney's body, the
It's just shit I say.
Gucci AF.
begins to scream for no sound. The mouth just opens and you watch the spirit pushed out behind
That was
Chetney.
goated.
He's rolling
Wild.
for how dumb you
We're all
were.
gonna be attacked on the internet.
Sweet.
Thank God.
It's different.
Don't possess him ever again so we don't have to deal with that.
Incredible.
I got snatched. I'm so thirsty. YOLO.
Alrighty, it is now their turn. Every single entity in this space here where FCG is, which is up to that height. No, it wouldn't get there from halfway. So it'd be that one, that one, that one. All but the one that's up there. Yep. Okay. That's a fail. That's a fail.
Okay.
That's a fail.
Nice.
So to that degree,
So just 3 of them?
that's 3 of them. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
3d8.
Fourth one fails again. All 4 hit.
Nice.
The one that was that had pushed out of Chetney and was knocked backward suddenly is dissipated from the strike of your
Not the
spiritual
girl.
guardians.
Thank you, small Frida.
Thank you.
Bye, bitch.
She got
Thank you for
shook.
killing that one.
The other one's looking a little worse for wear and having a tough time. This one, which is unaffected by the spiritual guardians, going to drift down, try and catch into this space here. It does enter the spiritual guardian's radius.
11 again.
Oh!
Destroyed and dissipated by that.
Ghosted.
Frida's.
Ghosted.
As this one darts away from you, FCG, you carve out with your buzzsaw, and as you do, it scatters and vanishes into the mist.
Unleash the monster, FCG. Keep going.
Yeah.
18 to hit with the
That hits.
scimitar, and then 10 points damage.
10 points damage. Is it a magical weapon?
No,
No?
just the plain old scimitar.
All right, so you strike it with the scimitar and it scatters away. You
Lovely
can see it
blade.
kind of beginning to try and reach out for the mists around it. It's looking like it's quite hurt as far as an undead spectral entity can be.
I'm gonna shoot out an ice knife.
Go for it.
All right, so I rolled
around yourself, take
6
it
points of
point.
damage for the ice knife.
6 points of damage.
Piercing damage.
All right.
Don't let me have wasted that spell slot. Get in here, motherfucker.
You watch as the ice knife explodes, like impacts and like shoots outward in shards of angry ice. And it seems to almost form a frozen image of this ghost as the back of it
Yeah.
vanishes and the ice cracks and crumbles to the ground. Did I finish your turn?
That's my turn.
Chetney, you're up.
Oh, here we go. Cavalry. Take 35 feet and I'll run towards the last remaining ghost up and over the log.
3, 4,
Oh, I didn't see
5, 6. What's your movement?
35.
35 gets you right next to
Oh,
it.
cool. Two swings, baby. 11 points of slashing damage.
Yeah,
How do you want to do this?
I'll reach up and say, no cap.
There you go. There you go. You got it right.
Flex. Goated.
Every time you say something, it's just more damage for me. I'll take half.
You kill it.
Killing it.
That's what you get.
You're killing it.
That's what you get.
I killed it. Nice.
It's done.
Slang answer, say less.
As is all semblance of any teenage. Bingo.
Beautiful.
You kind of glance around in the nearby monolith of a central tower. You still kind of can't help yourself but glancing up, and you see something kind of like moving. You see almost like a large wing type
What?
limb kind of like grasp out from one of the windows and kind of
What?
touch the
A
side.
wing type.
Oh.
Not like what we saw on the stag?
As in like feathered wings or leathery wings?
You're too far to see at the moment. You all dart inside the base of this cracked spire that sits off to the side of where you encountered these ghosts. You kind of push through the mists and the fog, and there's these hanging vines that seem to tangle like a net in front of the entryway, and you kind of like pull through quickly and carefully enter the shadow behind. You hear the
Do any of us get a good look at what?
you see something winged disengage from the top of the tower and kind of swoop down through the source of the sound before picking back up again. These wings are wide. You gather the wingspan is somewhere around 35, 40 feet wide from tip to tip. Thin wings, just long, very kind of pterodactyl-esque, if we're going to take a quick image on this. Leathery, but they have these long streaks, like streamers, that seem to like drift behind, whether they be long roots that have taken hold and kind of string behind it, and these kind of dangling ribbon-like aesthetic.
Like
that kind
kite tails?
Kind of. Number of them from different parts of the wings. You can see taloned legs that kind of claw from beneath. Multitudes of them. The 27 and 29, you do not see a head. You just see kind of the shoulders where the wings emerge and the taloned legs. You can see, like, at quick glance, 3 of them that are curled up.
Pro.
With the bit of shadow that's there, and just kind of...
I'm so freaked out, and this fucking slaps.
Glancing in the northwestern direction, you can see towards the outskirts of the thick elements, the Savalier Wood forest, where the city ends and the truly dense forest begins. You can see what looks like a somewhat blue-silvered tower that leans at an angle, like it had begun to fall and was caught by the surrounding trees that have since kind of grown over to be clutching it at different angles. And you can see a base around the layers of its rising structure, though at odd, somewhat cracked angles, a glittering gold accent that catches the midday light.
I think I found the Gilded Hall.
I'd say about a half mile from where you're currently standing, to a little over half a mile.
And no winged creature.
Not that I can see, but I think it might be beneficial for you all to move while I have the high ground here. Yes.
How will you join us?
I have a
What are you gonna
rope,
do?
and I can shimmy down the side of this tower. Or
Cool.
go down afterwards.
Let's do it. I like it. Oh, he's so brave. What a catch.
And you'll just let us know if you
he's
see
all
something
alone?
coming down or
If
what.
something's coming down on you, I will shoot it from here and draw its attention.
Oh, God, Frida. All right.
As Frida remains perched in the deep shadows at the peak of the smaller tower, eyes on the horizon for the massive flying mystery beast that has been alerted to some possible prey in the vicinity, the rest of you gather your nerves and begin to trek towards the goal of the Guildhollow Tower, halfway across this corrupted city before you. FCG, are you leading the troop?
I am.
All right.
By the power of the Changebringer, praise be to her and all of her
yeah.
flipping.
Get flipped, y'all.
Get flipped.
Flip it good.
Very well. Go ahead and make a survival check for me to traverse
Guide
the
yourself.
dangers of this. along the
Guide
way.
yourself.
Guidance natural 1.
Wow.
Focus! The Changebringer wants us to go this way.
And it's about that moment,
Resist.
FCG, as you point forward and hit a slight bump, and as you careen over this sudden incline, your wheel sinks into one of these open cracks in the ground that you had not seen around the corner from where you are. As you kind of stumble into this somewhat open crevasse in the ground, you begin to fall about 10, 15 feet within, kind of tink, banging around before wedging inside. The rest of you watch FCG vanish within as the black miasma pours forth from within. I need everyone to make Constitution saving throws for me, please.
Me too.
You feel the miasma tear through your physical body, and while you are not made of flesh, this is not a natural disease that begins to course through your form. You reduce your maximum hit points by 5. The rest of you dodge out of the way just in time as the entryway to this subterranean crack kind of releases this burst of black miasma, guiding your troop now through a safer pathway between the various crumbled buildings and tangled walkways. You keep an eye on the distant tower that you believe to be your destination, moving closer and closer, just as your means of communication, you sense, on the verge of fading. You also, from this point, can see a dark shape.
It's back, guys, and it's
We hide.
coming this way.
We hide. Take cover.
You guys all kind of like
Hide action.
dart off to the side into the shadows. You watch as it returns to the central tower. You get a view of it kind of returning, and you see kind of where the large muscular arms that go into the elongated leathery wings meet in that torso region. Where the head is missing, there is a singular, like, bright purple eye that is just set within its torso. And you see this what looks to be a faint point of light, almost like where people would sit, kind of just like, kind of darts around like it's scanning the ground beneath as it goes. It latches onto the side of the main tower. One of its claws, you see it's carrying something limp within its grasp, and it just immediately clambers and climbs back into the space where it emerged and vanishes from sight.
Oh, okay. I think it went out hunting and it found some food and it should be occupied for a little bit. Okay, I don't want to draw any attention. I'm going to go back down the way I came.
Okay.
And start making my way towards them.
All right. Stealthily?
Yes. Yes.
All right. It's a slower advance, but go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Tap dance, you coward.
Just scream and rappel down the tower.
It's a 13.
13?
Wait, no.
Yeah?
Did you
Stealth?
guys say what it is, though?
It's a natural one.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's so You got such good stealth, though.
That stealth is bonkers, bro.
Interesting.
Holy shit.
But it is a natural one, yes.
So, you descend back into the streets just as the light of the afternoon sun begins to shift slightly towards the beginnings of sunset. You dart from shadow.
It's good.
You dart from shadow to shadow, moving away from the dangers of this flying creature that seems to be, at the moment, enjoying whatever it dragged back to its abode. You get about halfway towards the Guild Hollow Tower to meet up with your friends.
Oh, he's in storytelling mode.
Before you clamber onto one of the nearby rooftops that seems to attach to a bridge that leads over a dangerously fallen section of the road. You mark this as to be a relatively safe route as opposed to having to wind between these dangerous spaces, especially with the occasionally drifting spiritual hauntings that still wander between these structures. And it's as you cross this bridge that the bridge itself collapses beneath your feet. Oh, no. You try and dart across as fast as you can, but it crumbles faster than you can keep up with. And you tumble with it. You don't take any damage as it just falls beneath you, and it's more like riding a rock slide. And the 15, 20 feet before it hits, you'll be bruised, or you would be bruised if you were a creature that could bruise, I guess. But you feel a bit knocked around from it. You stop, and the cloud of like stone dust that kind of rises around you eventually settles. But it's not that. It's the horrible clattering noise of crumbling stone and the collapse of a bridge that worries you more. And the rest of you hear this echo a ways back from where you were as you're awaiting the arrival of Frida. And it's that moment you hear a loud howl.
Jen, is that you?
Multiple howls and calls. What do you do?
Frida, how fast can you get out?
Frida.
Can he still hear us, or are we?
Was that you? Was that you? Was that big boom you?
This
Frida?
is the last moment before it leaves. You get one phrase.
One phrase.
That's it. That's what you got.
That's the one.
Yeah, I sprint towards.
Or wait, he got to run to us.
Sprint towards
They got to run to us.
Yeah.
All right, so the rest of you just go darting in the direction of the Guild Hollow Tower. You continue to charge in that direction. As you do into the sprint, occasionally stumble a bit off a piece of rock, but keep going. You hear it getting louder and louder, and you begin to
I'm
hear.
gonna linger back a little bit.
Same.
We're all
Can we see Frida like running towards us?
You don't have visual at the moment. You're about maybe 300 feet from the base of the tower, And you can either wait, go back, or head towards the tower.
How far away from the base of the tower?
About 200-300 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna stick my thumbs into my hips. I'm gonna rip off from Chetney's legs and these big wolf legs come out, but just upper Chet is still running.
What?
So like wolf legs, but upper Chet's looking at
Just a quadruped run at that point.
Yeah, I'm running towards where Frida is. Yeah.
You really are stretching the credulity of how into this I can be.
I don't think we should run towards Frida, though. I think we should let Frida get to us.
I agree with Imogen.
What? You want us to stay right here?
Well, I don't know if we should run towards Frida. Have Frida come to us.
Yeah,
They know where to go.
I'll hold two.
So the problem is that I wouldn't lead them to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be moving.
Perfect.
I would be moving away from them.
In hell.
Just to clear them. I want to make sure that I can get clear before I bring a pack of wolves or whatever they are.
Maybe I should just run to the tower. I'm gonna just start running to the tower.
Run to the tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is dumb, but you guys got this.
Goodbye.
Run to the tower.
Can I just let loose my spell that I wanted to do?
If you want to.
Sure. 300 feet away from me.
What do you create?
I'm going to create a seething storm,
Okay.
which is a 20-foot sphere of just loud, violent, thunderous lightning energy.
You all hear this like high-pitched whine and this terrible, loud, cracking, tearing sound. As nearby, this like plasma sphere of crackling purple lavender energy begins to shoot bolts out to nearby stone, causing it to crack and shoot dust off to the sides. As it sunders this space, it continues to churn and give this loud energy. The rest of you can kind of hear it in the nearby area and can see it if you haven't already run past. You've already gone to a charge in the direction of where you remember Frida was. You're heading towards the tower.
I'm just with Chet.
You're with Chet. Chet's further and further away from you, but you're following the line best you can. You, who are just running, and you're going on like a southern arc to lead it away, correct? You're running, and you can hear these snarls and these kind of like snapping of jaws a little ways off. Multiple sources, and you dart around the corner before you hear that in the direction of where they are. And you hear a shifting of rock and stone, heavy claws against ground, and the howls shift direction in the direction of your friends.
You're perfect. You're beautiful. I love you.
I will then stealthily try and sort of double back around towards them.
Okay. In the interim, what are you two doing who are trying to chase in the direction of
You
Frida?
just see tiny Chetney's upper body, Donald ducking it with his big wolf legs.
The rest of you transforms.
Sneezes into a foal.
All right. So while you both are running in the direction of Frida, you hear the howls kind of shifting away, and then you hear the detonation of the magic, and they suddenly double back and are almost coming straight towards where you and FCG are at the moment. What do you both do? Hearing it,
I
movement.
run over to FCG and I kind of grab him, pull him behind like a nearby boulder obstacle, and just kind of hunch down and see if we can just make ourselves small while keeping eyes out to see if we can see Frida running.
All right, both of you make stealth checks.
Okay.
Instead of making a stealth check, are we behind the stone or something?
You're being dragged behind a stone by Chetney unless you wish to resist it.
Still pass without a trace?
I won't resist it.
You're
but
still maintaining
instead,
concentration. So.
I will stone shape a wall in front of us.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Give you advantage on that stealth then.
29.
16.
16 with including the plus 10?
Oh, 26.
26. The wall careens over, and you both lose visual, and you just hear multiple claws, snarling snouts, and something or things moving rapidly beyond your visual range of this wall, cruising past and slightly away from the direction of where the tower is, you hope.
Oh, fucking fuck.
You two have reached the base of the tower at this point. You can see where maybe there would be a base floor entrance to this, but it is partially crumbled and now entirely offset. There are like heavy, thick brambles and branches that cover and have amassed this wall of growth that prevents any entry from that point. Almost like the forest itself is cradling it from falling on its side.
I'm going to just start backing up and heading towards the tower.
Frida, what are you doing at the moment? Now that you hear it tearing away, kind of, unfortunately, seemingly in the direction of the tower, or close to it, at least that sort of way, are you heading to meet this beast, or are you heading towards the tower?
Not towards the beast, towards the tower, yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of arc around that trajectory off to the side. As you're kind of rushing through, are you progressing stealthily or quickly?
I think at this point I have to get to them as quickly as possible. Yeah.
You're rushing past and occasionally you hear and you see like different spirits that are walking the streets that all of a sudden notice your approach and kind of almost reach out for you as you just dart past before they get a chance to try and reach out toward you. Some kind of hover, begin to drift between trees, kind of stepping between the ethereal range, but they can't keep up with your full sprinting speed. Darting over towards the edge of the tower, what are you two doing?
The stone that I made to hide us, I would have left like a little slit for us to see, just so we can see if things ran by. Did anything run by?
My ears back as I look in so they don't
Okay.
Back in.
Or I can just pick up. I'm looking for
Anything.
rose gold.
Or monsters.
Dead spread.
You do see some things pass by, and you who are hiding by the tower would have a visual on this in a similar time frame. You see what looks like 5 massive direwolf creatures. Their torsos elongated, their necks stretched almost in an exaggerated, almost a vole type extension of what you would expect to see a wolven face. Their claws tearing forward, their front claws, as the back of their body extends like a serpent. And all of these 5 stretched wolves come and join into a singular back portion of a woven body with 2 large, massive, muscular clawed legs that are tearing behind it, almost like a chariot being pulled by the front of 5 separate wolves.
How long are the stretch?
Cool.
The stretch is about 30 or so feet to each of them, and you watch as they are all like winding between each other and clambering over things and pulling the back legs with it, and they're like searching out and moving as one unified entity as they're chasing after the source of this sound.
Whoa.
Hey.
Okay.
You all keeping an eye out, you do see the rose gold shine of an Aormaton approaching the tower just as the last bit of the sunset light begins to turn to a darker beginning of night.
Oh, great. We're here during the night.
Sure, it's fine. Sure, it's fine.
I'm going to try to send a message.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the 100 for me.
This is an 89.
89, okay. What do you send?
I say, Frida made it to the tower. Where are you? Are you with Chet?
You do not feel the same resistance and chaotic interference from the ley line scattered energy based on the short distance between you and your friend.
So I heard it?
Oh, amazing.
Okay. Imogen just spoke to me in my head and said that Frida made it to the tower, we should come.
Back to the tower.
Yeah.
What the fuck did I do this for?
I don't know. I just used a stone
Come here, you little bitch. Pick him up.
Okay, so you're just going in a full sprint towards the tower?
I'm going to start trying to climb the side of the overgrown tower.
Guardian of Faith in front of like our climbing path.
Okay, you got it. What guardian do you summon?
That's a big chutney.
A big chutney.
200 years ago, beach lifeguard chutney.
Scary wolf chutney.
You all begin climbing up the side as you hear the howls getting louder and louder. One by one, you all begin to climb into the dark, lightless interior of the central portion of this tower that you hope to be the Guild Hall. As you push inside, you can hear the howls loud. The distraction had worn off, and the sounds of your journey still catching their attention, and your recent proximity allowing them to catch your scent. As soon as you all step inside, you can hear the clawing and movement of the entity begin to rise around the base of this.
Oh, it can climb the fuck up this
Is that
thing?
your spirit guardian?
Is my
doing
guardian of
stuff?
faith doing anything?
Well, it's not climbing the tower, but you see it tears into the nearby road where the tower is adjacent to the other buildings. And you can see now as like the 5 elongated, almost like a hydra wolf, all attached at one central back of legs, emerges. All the different kind of long woven bodies sniffing and like snapping at each other and then curling off to the side, and they're all beginning to search and smell around. They're following the sense to over where some of you are hiding. Like one of them kind of reaches up and kind of looks up towards the spectral Chetney, who kind of like looks down.
Did they get within 10 feet of the spectral Chetney?
Well, one of them notices and growls. One of the other ones kind of looks up. You watch as they begin to claw their way up the side towards it, with multiple hands climbing up. That's going to be an advantage in the athletics check. It begins to climb up the side of the trees and the
Fuck that shit.
roots
We can look down at
up
them, right?
towards the
Down at
Chetney.
them,
Yeah, you
right?
look down at it, but the Chetney, they do get within 10 feet of it as they see this thing and they go ahead and hunt it.
That's fine. Remember, they can't see us. We're inside.
Yeah, you're inside. You don't know. They do not see you at the moment. So as they enter the 10-foot space of the Guardian of Faith,
I need a 17 dex save.
that is going to be a 16, actually. It just failed. Natural 10 plus 6.
20 points of radiant damage. And this guy's around until he deals 60 points.
Until he does 60 points of damage?
Yeah.
What?
So immediately the Chetney strikes at one of the faces, and, like withdraws, and like begins to like crawl. One of the other faces like lunges out and goes for it again. No, that's a 10.
Yeah.
Roll damage again.
All right, another 20.
Another 20. That one withdraws, and you watch as the other ones are like climbing up the side. The two that withdraw are like kind of growling, but also kind of like licking them. And as you get a closer look, too, their features are stretched and exaggerated. Their jaws themselves, the front of the lips almost seem to like quiver and bend, like they're not quite solid bone, like there's cartilage on the inside, but then at the edge of the jaws, they come to these long kind of barb-like spikes that protrude from
You
the
mean the
sides of the
snout
skin.
quivers?
The snout kind of quivers as it bites.
What? With spikes going backwards?
On the back of the jaws. The bodies, it as they move, it's almost like the sockets of the limbs kind of either pop out or dislocate to try and like slither and move easily. The third, now that two of the heads are withdrawn, kind of in pain, a central bold one goes for one. It's going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
That's an 18.
Okay, so it'll take 10 points.
Takes 10 points. Takes another strike.
Yep.
Begins to like lash out and try and claw. Takes no purchase on this beyond like the burning sensation of its strike.
Towers on a
The heads kind of look up and start barking angrily at it, like a toy that it can't get to. And they kind of sit there and encircle, kind of lick their wounds for the next 5-6 minutes or so, until eventually it begins to lose interest, and slowly the different bodies begin to meander, occasionally glancing back at the tower before wandering off to seek what other prey might be easier to grasp.
That's weird.
Here in this kind of central chamber of the tower, it is wildly cluttered and debris filled. You can see there are heavy bits of furniture, almost like armoires and cabinets that have been pushed and slammed into the sides of the building. You can see rocks and chunks of the building structure that have tumbled in and cracked and destroyed much of what was inside the chamber. Parts of the floor have like broken in, and what was once probably a smooth marble or polished stone floor is heavily cracked and sundered. Chunks of it kind of sticking up, and bits of shale and dust strewn about. Heavy roots have grown through from the exterior trees and plant life. And there is kind of that thick moss and fungus has taken up different portions of the chamber itself. There is multitudes of messes and strange smells. Like most things you've seen through here, it's been picked through over hundreds of years.
Yeah.
For those who made it this far, and though you're not certain how far they got, but you do also notice there are a number of bodies that have been long left here, sundered. Arms, skull. Many of them not as old as the room that they are settled in. So you do see the remnants of a camp in here. Looks like somebody made a small fire, and there is a old stained blanket that is kind of like bunched up in a corner that is now kind of heavily taken over by a thick brown mold.
So I'm going to go up to the other two, and I'm going to gather as much foliage, marsh, anything that's flammable, that stuff, and I'm going to take an oil flask and douse all of that on
You're
both
gonna burn
sides.
the house down?
When we're done, I think
Oh, when
we
we're
should burn
done.
this thing
Okay,
down.
not
Yeah.
now, though,
No,
right?
of course not. No.
Okay.
The staircase that ascends upward, you can see while it's kind of leaning to the point where to ascend it, you're slightly moving at the angle that it's tilted, and the stone stairs, like there's heavy cracks through them as they rise that meet all the way to the bottom floor. Partway up, you can see there is a skeletal body that kind of just lays on the stairs. Through your ascension, you'll have to kind of step over it or get it out of the way.
So interesting.
But
Is it clothed, skeletal in its like garment still?
yeah, it looks like it's wearing some old leather armor.
How old?
I'm gonna search the body, just check it out. Pouches, belts, weapons, anything on it, jewelry.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a golden ring on one of the fingers that's been pulled away. The armor itself is also taken by like a purple and black
Or
mold.
like a bouquet at a wedding.
The armor has a purple and black mold on it?
Yeah, it's like deeply set into the leather.
When he stops and I see the body, I'm just going to give a once over from where I'm at to see if I see any traps or any semblance of traps.
As he's going through the body, you can see up the stairs a little bit. Around where the body is, there are these like dark, like burn marks, like a faint bit of dark, almost like charcoal spray in the radius around where the body is.
Mr. Buckabee. Traps. I think traps got him. Be careful up front.
Good call. Can I sniff at the black and purple mold? Is it natural smelling mold or something else?
The mold is, but also as you smell around with that warning, you can also smell there's like old carbon. And you also now see too, there's burn smudge in the space around where this body is.
Can I check the stairwell and the steps for pressure plates, tripwires, some sorts of traps?
Arcane
Well,
traps.
you've made the investigation check, and so between the two of you, there is a very, very faint glyph that is carved into the stone, a little ways up the staircase you were about to ascend.
I go, there's a glyph. Right over there.
Once I slide down the stairs and run back up and dispel
You clutch your symbol of the Dawn Father and release the incantation that pulls apart the weave of long-existing magic, and you watch as this near-invisible glyph suddenly begins to glow this bright orange color, like it's about to heat up and detonate, like someone had placed a poker in a fire for an extended period of time, and right as it heats up, there's a slight shattering sound, and you watch as the orange coloration immediately fades. You ascend the wide spiral staircase up to the kind of hatched opening that leads to the upper floor. This tilted room, which is even more tilted than the previous one, this kind of was caught in, from the outside you could see it's the part that's most cradled by the surrounding trees that have since grown around it. You can see there's an area where a balcony would have been, but that balcony itself, that whole exit, is now entirely choked and eaten by who knows how dense a cluster of branches and trees that have since spread into the chamber as well. You can see more of that odd papery material that's stretched and dried and left in corners and edges of the chamber.
Can I go investigate the papery material?
Yeah.
There's something about it that reminds you of certain creatures
Shed skin.
shed skin or like a cocoon material.
Aye.
It has that sort of leftover organic material feel to it.
I'm going to toss the room. I'm looking for anything hidden, anything that shouldn't be there.
I'll help you, in particular with the bed.
As you kind of glance around, This room definitely looks like it's been tossed over quite a bit. You can see the signs, once again, of familiar looting throughout. A lot of this has been shifted and moved. You can see there's, from inside the wardrobe, the doors that have been opened and pulled off the hinges wasn't from it shifting. People have definitely gone through and tried to remove anything of possible worth. You notice between and behind the roots against the walls from the tree elements that have pushed through the stone and the openings and have kind of grown all across the inside, the heavy clusters of branches and stuff that kind of close off the upper areas and kind of definitely have consumed a lot of the inside of this tower. You see like notes or pieces of paper or cloth that have elvish writings on them that have been heavily stained with time, that are mostly obscured by the growth here and mold that has taken to it as well.
I'll use my claws to just slowly carve away the roots, and I'll call over Deanna and have her take a look as I'm trying not to damage the paper as I remove the overgrowth.
I understand. So it's broken a bit, but as you begin to read it, there is one, like a cloth scroll that looks like it was leaned against a wooden board of some kind, and that has essentially been kind of grown over, and parts of the wood has like grown out like a potato you've left for too long that begins to grow on its own. That in Elvish is a bunch of questions. In fact, a lot of this feels like self-written notes and annotations, like somebody is reminding themselves or making bullet points to question or come back to. A lot of it speaks of patterns of arcana across cultures, across time, across dates. And you can see Exandrian calendar fragments. You can see notes on repetition and the shiftings of magic. You can see fonts of arcana and power that overlap with celestial events. There's a lot of like noting where things continue to recur over long and short periods of time.
Figuring out the ley lines.
Yeah.
Is it worth copying any of this down? Like, it's a lot.
I mean, is it?
If
Can
you
we take
say
it?
it out loud, I can record it.
Can't we take it?
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'll
I think
just
we should take
read.
it. Why can't we just take it?
No, you're right. Okay.
May have to carve some of these roots away to do so, but you can do
That's-
that.
Well,
And I think
can
I
we-
try to cast mending
Let's do the read it
just to
option
get the
first, so we have
structural
like a digital
integrity of
copy
the
just in
cloth up
case
a
they
little
fall
bit.
apart.
That indeed you can do.
Sweet.
Okay. And with that, as you're kind of doing this, you kind of glance around and you can see there are other parts of this chamber where more of these notes kind of are still somewhat present. Haven't been taken entirely. So you begin to cut some of this away. You notice that in elements of these notes, it calls out like historical specialists, people to reach out to in the world that might know this, people who in the past have kept on it. You see names like
Yeah, give me some names.
Vatora, doesn't ring a bell. Laren doesn't ring a bell.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Vishtaron. There's also what looks to be part of a small, I don't mean like a journal, but a series of heavy treated vellum pages that are kind of bound together. And these are like heavily notes on pages of, looks like they were torn from a religious tome or a book. And there are like circles around certain sections and notes talking about temple propaganda, talking about inconsistencies and elements of religious rites that are contradictory, that are in themselves proof that there is no real truth or plan in what the gods present. It looks like someone is preparing a speech, almost like an Exandrian TED Talk on what is wrong with the religious rites.
So cool. Okay.
You also see within this kind of series of pages heavy emphasis on the matron. A lot of self-written questions and notes, like an unfinished section. A lot of what's her name? I have to find her name. There is power in names.
I've heard that before. The name is earned. Just while they're digesting
Doesn't
that,
mean anything to me.
I'm sure these were written and then put on the wall, but just in case, can I find any dirt or soil or anything in the room and just try and wipe it on sections of the wall where the notes aren't anymore, just in case someone was writing these, like writing on the wall before they were taken off, like a chalk rubbing almost?
You can certainly try.
Just to see if any indentations picked up.
This is a very high DC investigation check, so go ahead and give me a shot on that.
Can I assist?
I have advantage. Call information about fey fiends or undead, but could I be assisted for
Yeah,
advantage?
can I assist? I've got a bunch of dust. Wait, I can like try to.
If we want to do
on the wall.
this is an important one, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you have any of your motes of possibility?
No.
What is this? You're doing an intelligence check?
It's an investigation check.
Investigation,
Guidance?
which is
I have
intelligence.
it, and I'll take some guidance.
I can get. So you already have advantage, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
You got this, Daddy.
15, 22, 24.
24.
Not a 25.
It's good though. Let's see. You did good.
You kind of wipe the dirt across it, kind of gently trying to blow away whatever like dried soil there is. Because most everything in here is some sort of dampness to it, but there are patches of dried dust. And you know these are fine because this isn't earth. This is long decayed skin or organic material. Whether it be from this odd material that you see stretched across parts of this chamber, it has that kind of light dust, that very, very fine powder feel that you can just kind of blow across and drift, and it reacts differently to shifts and changes. You move from one patch to the next, and it's limited in what you can find, especially given the short time that you've had to search this space. And in this time, too, the slight cracks of light that you see coming through the branches have now fully darkened, and you know night has taken the Sevalier wood around you. There's no sign of writing. There's no sign of remnants of drawing or any notes that are pulled from this. But there is one portion of the wall when you put the dust across it. The dust stays. Just this slight circular portion of the stone that it kind of clings to ever so faintly.
A circle?
Unnaturally.
This portion of the wall is different than the rest of the surface.
Fucking
It just has
nerds and their
something
stupid
on
bullshit.
it, or there's like something that we can.
Dust is adhering to it.
Is it like invisible? Or is it an opening?
Do you dispel magic?
I do. Oh, am I dispelling it?
Or should we touch it?
Is it like a thing that we
It might be
can
like an
shift and push
illusion.
through or
Might be.
something?
Should we throw a rock at it or something?
Yep.
I'll just take the tip of a nail and just the smallest surface area and just touch the area of it.
You press it and kind of it clicks. It's, it's a hard surface.
Yeah. But it doesn't move through it or anything. It's like
It doesn't move
contact.
through it. No.
Can I try to use that telekinetic shove
Be back up, man.
and try to push it?
Okay. You go ahead and try and telekinetically shove in that space. The dust that you just laid across it kind of separates in a slight ring around it, and that bit of a cloud vanishes. It doesn't seem to have any effect on it.
I'm gonna cast light. Does the light, like, does arcane light hit that portion of the wall differently?
Or you cast light on that part of the wall? Or in the space?
No, I was just on my, staff.
Okay. You go ahead and light up the area around it, the bright
dark
kind of
now.
torchlight around here. Move it around. It lights the area, and you can see kind of that strange circular space on the wall that sits there. It doesn't... Make an Arcana check for me.
Natural 20.
Let's go!
Four total of?
Oh no. 19.
But still, natural 20s are great.
Could let me have that one little Laren moment.
Still there. Showing up for you, girl.
R.I.P.
You look at the light at your staff and kind of hold the staff out, wondering if the light itself will have an effect, or you're not quite sure, but there's something about your understanding of the nature of magic in general, though divine in a lot of its source may be, and you touch the end of your weapon with the glowing bulb of light to that section, and you watch as the light enchantment is like drawn into it and goes out.
Oh.
That brief circle seems to just faintly glow and then just returns to its dormant state. Like it
Needs more spell.
like a plant thirsty for water.
Oh, it needs magic.
Needs magic. Okay.
Okay. Oh, well,
Everyone, learn a cantrip.
I wonder if it needs like a certain level. Though.
probably does.
Everyone.
I can start with 3rd level.
I've got 1 4th level.
Yeah, let's
We can
save
do
that. Let's try a 3rd first.
Okay.
I have a few thirds left.
Are there any windows?
I wonder if it
okay?
needs a certain type of spell.
There isn't a window to this chamber that you can see. There is what looked like a balcony archway that's kind of facing on the downward side that has been so overgrown, all the trees on the other side have completely swallowed it.
Any notes or scratching on the roof? The ceiling of the room we're in?
The inside of the ceiling you're in?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about a 15-foot tall climb, and there is like a heavy cluster of like knotted roots and branches up there. You'd kind of climb up and search if you'd want.
Are there kind of types of wizards? Like what type of wizard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll use my claws and go up.
There's different types.
You're not under heavy duress. You climb up and kind of pull through that kind of weird papery material and crawl up and start pulling through the roots and again pulling apart from the hanging vines and bits of like gray and red leaves that kind of pull away with each grasp. Eventually you reach up and touch something soft. Like it kind of like has give to it. It has this like rotting citrus smell that also blends with what I can only describe as carrion.
Carrion. Oh, gosh.
And as you kind of withdraw your hand, you can see
It's a cocoon.
there's crimson dripping down your fingers.
It's a cocooned body.
Are you okay?
I'm gonna come back down.
You all hear this heavy impact. All the root structure and branches above shift, and dust just settles for a second. You begin to climb down. They shudder
God.
again.
What's happening?
Branches
Oh, God.
splinter and tear open from above, and you watch as something heavy, pinkish red begins to like push through and emerge like a slithering ooze of skinless flesh. Just tendrils begin to descend, almost like a molasses
Jenny, baby.
of
What'd you
muscle.
do?
And you watch as faces emerge from it,
Faces?
like bestial maws that stretch out from it as it begins to
God. Now we gotta fight this thing?
slams onto the stone in the center of this chamber as you all kind of
dead,
spread
maybe it's
back.
dead.
This weird, like, quivering globule that has no real form. It hasn't decided what it wants to be yet, almost. And then you watch as teeth and mouths begin to emerge. It's drawing inspiration from you and whatever denizens of this city have walked its paths.
Fun.
As these arms and tendrils and eyes and teeth begin to take form, this 10, 15 foot wide expanding mass of hungry, chaotic, insane life wishes to say hello to the new denizens of this tower. And that's what we'll be having tonight.
No!